Welcome to the Ben Daniel Podcast, where we're calling a spade a spade. The Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese controversy. The Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese Rookie of the Year race is heating up if you work for ESPN. If you work for ESPN, you would think that this Rookie of the Year race is close. If you work for ESPN, you would think that this Rookie of the Year race is neck and neck. One day it's Caitlin Clark. One day it's Angel Reese. One day it's Caitlin Clark. One day it's Angel Reese. But if you watch the games, if you don't have an agenda to sell out to, it's pretty clear. It's pretty evident who the Rookie of the Year is. ESPN came out with an article ranking the 2024 WNBA rookies, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, and more. This is an ESPN Plus exclusive article. Who the hell is playing $10.99 just to get ESPN articles? If you're getting ESPN Plus, it better be for UFC. It better be for Formula One. It better be for some good reason other than their terrible journalism. But I digress. ESPN Plus ranking the 2024 WNBA rookies, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, and more. And this article is brought to you by Neil Payne. Neil Payne, I want to give you a shout out. Everybody, this is Neil Payne. Please go follow Neil Payne. Let him know how great of an article this was if you do have the time. Neil, what a great article this was. I can't get over the groundbreaking journalism that you brought to the table. A lot can happen over the course of a month in the WNBA. Wow, Neil, this is great stuff. Riveting stuff. Chicago rookie, Angel Reese. Indiana Fever rookie, Caitlin Clark. WNBA first rookie triple-double. Historic double-double streak. Cameron Brink got injured. And then he goes on to tell us how he's going to use made-up stats, made-up statistics, made-up letters and words and things that really don't mean anything if you watch the games. But if you're a DEI pawn that works at ESPN, if you're a DEI stat head that works at ESPN, you just love the ABCs, right? You love the ABCs. So he invented his own ABCs. We got PER. We got Raptor, RAPTOR. We got estimated wins added. We got a whole bunch of bullshit that Neil Payne wants to throw into here to tip the scales in Angel Reese's favor instead of just saying, what's the eye test telling you? Who's having more of an impact on winning? Oh, okay, it's Caitlin Clark. No. Instead, our glorious Neil Payne needs to make up his own stats. He needs to grab this metric over here and grab that metric over here and grab that statistic over there or grab that statistic over there. And then if I add that statistic and I add that statistic and I divide them and then I multiply it by the root of 2, oh, Eureka! Angel Reese is Rookie of the Year. Let me write up an article. That's what these people do. That's what these fools are doing. With so many shakeups, our updated rookie rankings reflect a much larger sample. As a refresher on our process, each 2024 rookie is rated based on how many wins each has added so far this season, using a consensus of 3 different advanced value metrics. Folks, all advanced value metrics, they're already equations. They're answers to already equations. So advanced value metrics are already taking multiple statistics, adding them, dividing them, multiplying them, doing a whole bunch of equations to get numbers. And then when we take those numbers, you guys get the point. This is just a whole bunch of bullshit, a whole bunch of nonsense. Basketball References win shares, estimated wins added from player efficiency rating, and wins generated via estimated Raptor, a plus-minus style that accounts for both a player's individual production and her effect on her team's net rating during a game. The Raptor metric is a new addition to these rankings. I wonder why, and it's a big improvement because it includes a player's stats and the effect of those stats on the game. Each estimate of wins created is then averaged into a single metric called consensus wins, which can then be used to rank every qualified rookie. Last time, we ranked off of per minute production because teams had played wildly disparate numbers of games. Now, we can simply rank off of total wins added, as each team has played between 21 and 22 games. 21 and 23 games. Also marks the halfway mark of the WNBA 40-game season. Number 1, Angel Reese. For the most part, Reese has been a stat-stuffing dynamo in her debut campaign. Let's stop it right there. 2 stats are getting stuffed. If you can even say 10 plus points is stuffing stats. If 12 points, 13 points, 11 points, 9 points, if that's stuffing the point column, what are we doing here? Neil Payne, what the hell are you doing here, dude? What are we doing? This is a bull crap article already, and I am 17 words in. She is a close second behind Clark in points per 100 possessions among rookies, leads by a mile in rebound rate, and has been the best active defensive rookie following Cameron Brink's injury. Folks, that's news to me. That's news to me, but we're not even going to get into how the numbers indicate that the Chicago Sky's defense is better with Angel Reese off the floor than on the floor. Not even going to get into that. Where can she improve? Despite hitting her first 2 career three-pointers in her recent 27-point outing against Seattle, the biggest flaw in Reese's skill set remains her shooting. She's not a consistent threat from three-point range yet, and at 75% from the line, she's a below-average free-throw shooter. A player as good on the inside as Reese needs to shoot better than 43% on two-pointers sooner or later. The league average on twos is 49%, a mark Reese is missing because she takes 42% of her shots from mid-range and makes 27% of them. Takes 42% of her shots from mid-range and makes 27% of them. That's abysmal. That's awful. Yet Neil Payne's going to have this person paraded around as the number 1 rookie of the WNBA so far. How embarrassing. ESPN. Remember ESPN? Remember the good old days? Remember the good old days of ESPN? Stuart Scott, John Anderson, Neil Everett, Scott Van Pelt, Linda Cohn, Sage Steele. Late 90s, early 2000s, up until around 2006, 2007. Remember those days? Chris Berman. Remember that? Schwami. Remember all that? Now we have Neil Payne. Now we have Neil Payne telling us about the WNBA. Neil Payne. Number 2, Caitlin Clark. Last time she was ranked, folks, she was ranked number 6th on this list. When was Caitlin Clark ever number 6th rookie in the league? Unless you're a DEI snowflake like Neil Payne. Seriously. Unless you're a DEI snowflake like Neil Payne, when has Caitlin Clark really been 6th on the rookie rankings? Unless you have an agenda to sell out to. That's the issue. These people have agendas to sell out to. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Yeah, Neil, I get it. I get it, Neil. You work for ESPN. You need to fluff shit up to make it seem better than what it is. Good for you. Good for you. No player has improved more since our initial rankings than Clark, who was averaging 18 points, 10 assists, and 7 rebounds per game since mid-June. That person's not number 1 on the rookie. These people are fools. Neil, what are you talking about? We're talking about stat stuffing, and this player's averaging 18 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds per game on 63% true shooting since mid-June. Clark has also gotten her signature logo 3 shooting touch going with a 15 for 36 showing, 41%, which is significantly higher than the overall WNBA average of 33.7% on shots of 30 to 34 feet. And the Fever have been better with the Clark on the court than off, which wasn't true early on this season. Do you guys see the difference in how we're talking about Caitlin Clark and how we're talking about Angel Reese in this? Do you see the difference how Neil is talking about Caitlin Clark and talking about Angel Reese in this, yet somehow he still ranks Caitlin Clark behind Angel Reese in Rookie of the Year? That's why you can't take people like Neil Payne seriously. That's why you just can't do it. And again, if you're a fan of this article, go reach out to Neil on Twitter. Neil, great job. This article was awesome. I love your unbiased perspective. I love you calling it how it is. Great job. Need more articles like this. Great. This is a joke. This is a joke. We have other teams selling out to get Angel Reese double-doubles, and then I have goofies like Neil Payne telling me that Angel Reese is the Rookie of the Year. That Angel Reese is currently leading the Rookie of the Year. This dude watched Angel Reese get fouled with 6 seconds left just to get a double-double for the third time. The game was already out of the hand, and the other team just gave her a double-double. This dude watched that game, watched Caitlin Clark go 29-13, only to type up an article like this. Folks, I'm a little bit older now, so I don't really watch The Breakfast Club in the morning, but Donkey of the Day has to go to Neil Payne, right? Donkey of the Day has to go to Neil Payne, right? Is there anybody out there with some common sense that works for ESPN? Is there anybody out there? These people are just disgusting. Just nasty work. Nasty work. Nasty work. It is pathetic. I wrote a long explainer here about why the advanced metrics aren't quite as high on Clark as we'd expect from the eye test or her hype entering the league. Long story short is that she still turns over the ball far too often, hurting her overall efficiency, and that her defense still needs work. But my main takeaways was that the rookie WNBA guards have a lot more trouble adjusting to the league than bigs, which explains why similar talents such as Kelsey Plum and Sabrina Ionescu put up weak metrics in their first full seasons. This is interesting. Neil, rookies have tougher times adjusting to the league than bigs, yet Caitlin Clark put up a triple-double, first ever rookie in WNBA history to do that, and she's averaging 18, 10, and 8 since mid-June. Sounds like somebody that should be Rookie of the Year, right, Neil? These people are so dumb. They say their case, and then their explanation completely contradicts their case. Just say, my boss told me to make it Angel Reese. Just say that, Neil. Just say, hey, if I don't play along, they're going to fire me. I got to play along. I'm sorry. Just say that, Neil. We know. Dude, we know, Neil. We know. We know. You have an alphabet to uphold, right? You got a narrative to push forth. I understand, Neil. I understand. That's why I'm not holding this against you. That's why I'm not saying anything. You know, that's why I'm keeping it to myself. Because I know you're getting told by your bosses, hey, publish this nonsense. Put this article out. Completely lie. Fabricate numbers. Make up numbers. Bring in numbers. And then multiply other numbers to divide those numbers to get numbers that prove our point. Alrighty, boss. You got it. This is ridiculous. This is exactly why the WNBA is professional wrestling. Because you have dishonest journalism. You have dishonest media. These people don't know their foot from their ass from their foot, their hand from their leg, up from down. They don't know. ESPN is embarrassing. Neil Payne is embarrassing. This whole entire article is embarrassing. and the WNBA. It's embarrassing. It's the Ben Daniel Podcast where we're calling a spade a spade. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you agree with Neil Payne? Do you think Neil Payne is spot on the money here? Or do you have common sense? Are you objective? Are you not clouded by bias? And you're like, Neil, you're wrong. Sorry. Bye. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. This is the Ben Daniel Podcast. Take it easy.